I just watched the movie Punch Drunk Love, which just reaffirmed that I really love that Paul Thomas Anderson exists. I don't always love all of his movies, but I love that he's one of the most diverse filmmakers I think the world has ever seen. Now, granted, to be a diverse filmmaker means that you have to be given the resources to make another big-scale movie, and you have to be given the freedom by the studio to make that movie. You know, if you have one successful movie as a director, the next movie you direct, the studio probably wants you to make a movie similar to that one. But the ones who manage to beat the system, like Paul Thomas Anderson, are just a real blessing. I mean, he's made coming-of-age movies, period piece movies, Western, and, in this case, a rom-com. And Punch Drunk Love, it's an amazing display of the plight of the nice guy. The nice guys. Rise. Because the gentleman in this movie, starring Adam Sandler, who is great in this role, it's weird to think that this was back in 2002. It feels so fresh. Feels like it almost could have come out like this year. This guy is very passive and just kind of lets things happen to him for the most part, and not very assertive. I mean, he's a typical nice guy. And the thing is, though, he's not totally a nice guy, like no nice guy is, because he has anger issues that he takes out in really sporadic ways. You know, it shows that he literally has the ability to smash windows when he's frustrated about something, just because he's so tired of taking the world's crap, and then eventually it just has to come out some way. He's not actually weak, like he might be perceived immediately. He has strength in him the entire time. It doesn't really come out in a way of like self-defense or a way of or any sort of way of combating all the adversity that the world is throwing at him. Like, it's not used in any sort of useful way. He gets the crap beaten out of him by some guys in the movie, and he just lets it happen, like it just happens to him. But then later on in the movie, after he starts dating this woman, there's a part where they do something that hurts her, like not terribly seriously, but he just looks over and they like hit his car, she's bleeding. And there's no dramatic like part where he like gains his power or anything. In an instant, he just steps out of the car and just with the same blank facial expression just takes out all these guys in an instant. He just suddenly has these strength and like reflexes that he had never shown anywhere else in the movie before. Because now he has something to defend. Now he has something to lose. He has something to care about. It's hard for the nice guy to defend himself because he doesn't love himself enough. He doesn't care for himself enough. Or at least, I mean, he might care about, staying alive, but he doesn't really think that he's something worth defending. And it really takes another person being involved to feel like, yeah, I have something I'm fighting for in this world. And that's when in an instant, just all that strength that he already had, and I just want to reiterate, that's the beauty of the whole thing, is that he already had this strength. He was just using it in very self-destructive ways. Just destroying rooms and and just being so frustrated with the world, but only taking it out in sporadic bursts, in these tiny little pockets. And now he's able to use it to defend something that he cares about for the first time. I'm starting to find that strength in myself. But it requires a level of caring. And it requires a level of understanding that you have something to lose by not defending yourself. My passivity toward the world and my being a standard nice guy and me being a people pleaser and me letting people take advantage of me in certain ways And it has all come from a lack of self-worth. I don't have anything to defend in myself if I don't feel like I'm worth very much. It also, I do think that having other people in your life really helps it as well. People that you really, really care about. There are a couple times, I am not a particularly aggressive person toward people a lot of the time, but there are certain particular people that I love that when I hear people saying things to them or just see them being mistreated in some way, suddenly I can find that power to defend. I think the nice guy just needs something to care about. Like sincerely, deeply care about. And in an instant, you can just become Superman. The most magical moments in my life are when, in a reflexive instant, you just have something come out of you. A real line in the sand that you put down that says, I am here. And you have to get through me. And then the best part afterward is when you're like, whoa, where did that come from? It was always there. You just couldn't seem to find it before.